Let me tell you something. Every single one of you has faced disrespect at some point. Maybe it was a sideways glance, a dismissive comment, or someone talking down to you like you weren't even in the room. And in that moment, what did you want to do? You wanted to react. You wanted to fire back, to put them in their place, to show them they can't talk to you like that. But here's the truth. The strongest move you can make isn't a reaction, it's silence. That's right. Silence is power. Silence is control. Silence is the ultimate revenge. See, when someone disrespects you, they're looking for a fight. They want you to engage, to stoop to their level, to give them the satisfaction of knowing they got under your skin. But when you stay silent, you take all that power away, you leave them standing there exposed with nothing but their own ignorance hanging in the air. And that eats them up more than any comeback ever could. Now don't get it twisted. Silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence isn't about rolling over or letting people walk all over you. No. Silence is a choice. It's the choice to say, you're not worth my energy. It's the choice to say, I'm too focused on my own path to be distracted by your nonsense. Because here's the thing. When you react to every little slight, you give away your power. But when you stay silent, you keep it. And that's how you handle disrespect like a boss. Think about the people who truly command respect. The ones who walk into a room and don't have to say a word, you just feel their presence. How do they do it? They don't waste time on petty arguments. They don't entertain foolishness. They know their worth and they don't need to prove it to anyone. That's the energy you need. That's the mindset you've got to adopt. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but if I don't say anything, they'll think they won. No, they'll think they got to you if you react. But if you stay silent, if you look at them like they're not even worth your breath, that's when they start questioning themselves. That's when they realize they messed with the wrong one. Because silence isn't passive, it's strategic. It's the weapon of those who know their strength. And let's talk about success for a second. The higher you climb, the more disrespect you'll face. People will doubt you. They'll try to tear you down. They'll whisper behind your back because they can't stand to see you winning. But you know what winners do? They keep moving. They don't stop to explain themselves. They don't waste time on people who don't matter. They let their success speak for itself. So the next time someone tries to disrespect you, I want you to remember this. Your silence is louder than their words. Your composure is stronger than their chaos. And your success, that's the best revenge of all. But let's dig deeper. Because silence isn't just about ignoring fools. It's about understanding the game. Life is chess, not checkers. Every time you engage in nonsense, you're sacrificing a piece of your peace, a piece of your focus. And what do you gain? Nothing. Just more drama, more distraction, more time wasted on people who don't deserve a second of your attention. You ever notice how the loudest people in the room are usually the weakest? They're overcompensating. They're insecure. They need validation, so they talk, they interrupt, they belittle. But the real ones, the ones who know who they are, they don't need to shout. They don't need to clap back. They let their actions, their integrity, their excellence do the talking. And here's another truth. Disrespect is a test. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, it's testing your discipline. It's asking, how bad do you want it? Are you going to let some clown derail you, or are you going to stay locked in? Because greatness isn't just about talent or hustle, it's about emotional control. It's about knowing when to speak and when to let your silence do the work. Think about the legends, the ones who changed the game. They didn't do it by arguing with every critic. They did it by outworking, outthinking, outlasting the noise. They understood that energy is currency, and they weren't about to spend it on trash. So when someone comes at you sideways, smile, nod, keep it pushing. Let them wonder why you're not bothered. Let them marinate in their own foolishness. Because while they're stuck in their feelings, you're leveling up. While they're obsessed with you, you're forgetting their name. And that's the real power move. Not just silence, but indifference. When you truly don't care, when their opinion means less than zero, that's when you're free. That's when you're unstoppable. So train yourself. The next time disrespect comes your way, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this worth my time? 99 times out of 100, the answer is no. And that one time it is, handle it with precision, with class, with the quiet confidence of a man or woman who knows their worth. Because at the end of the day, revenge isn't about yelling louder. It's about living better. It's about letting your success, your peace, your unshakable dignity be the answer to every doubter, every hater, every insecure soul who tried to bring you down. So keep your head high, your mouth closed, and your grind relentless. That's how you win. That's how you get the last laugh without saying a word. Let me break this down for you even deeper. Because mastery of silence isn't just a tactic, it's a lifestyle. The world's going to come at you with all kinds of foolishness. And every time you choose silence over reaction, you're building mental muscle most people don't possess. See, when you engage with disrespect, you're giving away 3 things you can never get back. Your time, your energy, and your peace. Time is the most valuable currency we've got. Why would you spend it arguing with someone who doesn't matter? Energy is finite. Why waste it on battles that don't move you forward? And peace? Once that's gone, everything else falls apart. I want you to understand something fundamental about human psychology. When people disrespect you, they're projecting their own insecurities, their own limitations, their own fears onto you. Their words say everything about them and nothing about you. But here's where most people get it twisted. They take it personally. They think that disrespect is about them, when in reality, it's always about the person dishing it out. That loudmouth coworker who talks down to you, he's terrified someone will discover he's incompetent. That so-called friend who throws shade, she's miserable in her own life. The internet troll hiding behind a keyboard, he's got nothing going for himself. When you truly understand this, you stop seeing disrespect as an attack and start seeing it for what it really is, a cry for help from someone who's drowning in their own inadequacy. Now let's talk about the anatomy of silence. There are levels to this. First level is basic restraint. Biting your tongue when you want to clap back. That's beginner stuff. Next level is complete emotional detachment. Not just holding your words, but not even feeling the need to respond. That's intermediate. Master level, when you can look at someone disrespecting you and genuinely feel sorry for them because you recognize their behavior comes from a place of pain. That's when you've truly won. The most dangerous person in any room isn't the one screaming threats. It's the one who says nothing at all. Because that silence creates uncertainty. When you don't react, people don't know what you're thinking. They don't know your next move. That unknown terrifies them more than any insult ever could. While they're busy trying to figure you out, you're already 3 steps ahead. Let me give you some real-world applications of this principle. In business negotiations, silence closes deals. When the other side makes an offer and you just sit there quietly, they'll start negotiating against themselves. In relationships, silence speaks volumes. When someone crosses a line and you simply remove your presence, that absence teaches lessons words never could. In personal growth, silence creates space for wisdom to grow. The less you engage with nonsense, the more room you have for what truly matters. Here's what they don't teach you. Silence isn't empty. Real silence is full of power, full of intention. It's not the absence of sound, but the presence of self-control. When you master this, you'll notice something fascinating. People will start filling your silence with their own insecurities. They'll start explaining themselves when you didn't ask. They'll start backtracking when you didn't challenge them. That's the power of quiet confidence. Now let's address the elephant in the room. There will be times when everything in you wants to react. When the disrespect cuts deep, when it's personal, when it's public. In those moments, I need you to remember one thing. Reacting is exactly what they want. Your anger is their validation. Your outburst is their proof that they got to you. But when you deny them that satisfaction, that's psychological warfare at the highest level. I'm not telling you to be a doormat. There's a time and place to stand up for yourself. But here's how you do it like a boss. With precision, with calculation, and always on your terms. The key is to never respond in the heat of the moment. Let the situation breathe. Come back when you're in control, when you can address it with clarity, rather than emotion. That's how you maintain power in every interaction. Think about the most respected people you know. I guarantee they have one thing in common. They don't waste words. They speak when it matters, and their silence carries weight. That's what you're building toward. A presence so strong you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Let me drop some truth on you about success. The more you achieve, the more disrespect you'll attract. It's not a bug in the system, it's a feature. When you start winning, losers will come out of the woodwork to try to drag you down. Their words are actually a sign you're doing something right. If nobody's talking about you, you're not making enough noise in the world. But here's the game changer. When you stop internalizing disrespect and start recognizing it as background noise to your success, everything changes. Imagine being so focused on your vision that insults just bounce off you like rain off a windshield. That's the mindset of champions. That's how you operate when you're playing the long game. I want you to conduct an experiment. For 1 week, practice intentional silence. When someone disrespects you, simply observe. Watch their body language, listen to their tone, but don't engage. What you'll discover is shocking. Most disrespect evaporates when it's not fed. Like a fire without oxygen, it burns itself out. Meanwhile, you remain untouched, unmoved, undisturbed. This is how you build an unshakable foundation. Not by winning every argument, but by rising above the need to argue at all. Not by proving your worth to others, but by knowing your worth so deeply that no outside validation is required. That's true power. That's boss mentality. Remember this. The ocean doesn't respond to every pebble thrown in it. The sky doesn't acknowledge every bird that flies through it. Be like that. So vast, so secure in your purpose, that petty disrespect barely registers. At the end of the day, your silence isn't just about ignoring haters. It's about honoring yourself. It's about reserving your energy for what truly matters. It's about moving through the world with the quiet confidence of someone who knows exactly who they are and where they're going. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, to bait you into their nonsense, to drag you down to their level, smile. Nod if you have to, and keep walking. Your future is too bright to be dimmed by small minds. Your mission is too important to be derailed by trivial battles. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them waste their breath while you're busy working, growing, succeeding beyond their wildest imagination. That's the ultimate revenge. A life so extraordinary that your success drowns out all their noise. Let me take you even deeper into the psychology of silence as power. There's an ancient wisdom in martial arts that applies perfectly here. The strongest stance isn't the one that's constantly moving, but the one that's perfectly balanced, rooted, unmoved by outside forces. That's what your silence creates. An unshakable foundation that no disrespect can penetrate. Consider this: when you react to every slight, you're essentially letting other people control your emotional state. You're giving them the remote to your peace of mind. But when you choose silence, you take that power back. You become the eye of the hurricane, completely calm while chaos swirls around you. That's next-level emotional intelligence. That's how leaders operate. Here's something profound to think about. The people who disrespect you are often the same ones who will later need your help, your connections, your influence. And when that day comes, and it will come, your silence now becomes your leverage. Because you never burned bridges in anger, you never showed your cards in frustration, you maintained your dignity when they lost theirs. That's how you stay 10 steps ahead in the game of life. Let me break down the 3 layers of strategic silence. First layer is surface silence. You don't engage, but you're still boiling inside. Most people get stuck here. Second layer is emotional silence. You've trained yourself not to take it personally. This is where you start gaining real power. But the third layer, that's transcendent silence, where you actually feel compassion for those who disrespect you, because you understand their behavior comes from their own limitations. When you reach this level, you become untouchable. This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about recognizing that your peace is too valuable to be disturbed by people who don't matter in the grand scheme of your life. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice something incredible happening. Disrespect starts to bounce off you like bullets off Superman's chest. And here's the secret they don't want you to know. When you refuse to play the disrespect game, you automatically win. Because the game only continues when both players participate. Remove yourself from the equation, and suddenly their words hang in the air, awkward and empty, exposing their pettiness for all to see. Your silence becomes the mirror that forces them to confront their own inadequacies. And that, my friend, is the most powerful revenge of all, making someone face the very insecurities they were trying to project onto you. So keep your head high, your mouth closed, and your focus laser sharp on your goals. Let your success be the only response anyone ever needs from you. That's how legends are made. That's how empires are built. That's how you turn disrespect into fuel for your greatness. Now go out there and show the world what happens when someone tries to play checkers with a chess master. They won't see your moves coming until it's too late. That's the power of silence. That's the strategy of winners. That's how you handle disrespect like the boss you were born to be. At the end of the day, silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's the presence of power. It's the ultimate flex, the unshakable proof that you can't be rattled, that your peace isn't for sale, and that your focus is locked on something far bigger than petty distractions. Disrespect will always come from the insecure, the jealous, the small-minded. But how you handle it defines who you are. You don't argue with fools. You outclass them. You don't waste energy on battles that don't serve your purpose. You conserve it for the wars that matter. So when the noise comes, remember, your silence is your sword, your composure is your armor, and your success is the knockout punch. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them exhaust themselves trying to drag you into the mud while you're busy building your empire. Because the greatest revenge isn't stooping to their level. It's rising so high that their words can't even reach you.